What's going on, everybody? This is Future Automation, a place where imagination meets reality, and you're listening to Tejas. In this video, guys, we are going to start with building projects out of all the sensors and actuators and LED and Arduino. So, with a cup of coffee, let's get started. So, guys, in this video, what we'll be needing is obviously an Arduino. We'll be needing it. Next to that, what we'll be needing is a breadboard, about which we have got an idea in the last video. And in this video, we are going to actually start understanding on how we are going to connect LEDs and how we are going to work with, different sensors and all. And this will play a lot of important role in that, because we are not going to solder much of things. When we'll start actually, building projects that we are going to use, we'll start soldering as well. And that time I'll explain you how to do all those things as well. Next to that, what we'll be needing is another important part of today's project, that is this potentiometer. And we'll be learning how exactly this is, what are the connections that we need to do. And then what we'll be needing is something that we'll be using in combination with potentiometer, that is LEDs, our friends, the Hello World program guys. And this is something that we'll be using today. So I've kept different LEDs because maybe we might, make a project where we'll be needing more than one LED. So that's why, and also to control the brightness with this, which we did last time. I just want to show you how we are going to connect it with Arduino and breadboard and all the connection stuff. And then finally, what we are going to do is we are going to understand how to use PIR sensor. This is the first sensor that I learned to use with Arduino, and this is the first sensor that I'll be teaching you on how to use with Arduino. So this is all what we need. And also what we are going to be needing is some jumper cables. So we'll be needing some jumper cables which will be male to male and male to female. So if you guys are new to this video and you don't have any idea about any of this, make sure you check all the previous 4 videos. I'll be leaving the link in the description for the playlist, as well as somewhere in the corner you'll be getting it, so that you'll get an idea on what exactly we are going to do here today. And yeah, let's get into it. What we'll be building first is we are going to understand how to connect LED to the breadboard and Arduino, and then we'll start with programming part. So, before starting to use the actual LED uh, product or LED, in short, what we need to understand is how exactly LED works. So there is a diagram at the corner you can see, which is depicting how exactly the construction of LED is, what are the anode and cathode parts, and all this, technical stuff. But in the lamest term, what exactly is LED? So let me just show you simultaneously on camera so that you can see it. So if you can see here in the left of this LED, so try to see if you can focus on the LED. I'm trying to show it as nearer as possible. So you can see here that in the left of the inside LED part, you can see there is a small section, and then on the right there is a larger one which is comparatively larger to the left one, and then there is a small gap in between. Now if you'll observe, then the smaller section is having a longer pin below the LED, and the larger section is having a comparatively smaller pin. Now, the working principle of LED is basically what, whenever the power is applied, if you see in the diagram here, whenever we are applying a power to LED, both the P type and N type, there is a diode in between. Basically, this is a diode, and both the charges meet at the junction, releasing a lot of photons. So, photons are nothing but light. So, that is what, in the lamest term, how LED works. Now, positive and negative. So, you need to keep in mind the larger pin is the positive one, and the smaller one is a negative one. So, that is anode, that is positive, and the smaller one is cathode, that is negative. So what we need to do is the positive one we need to connect to any of the digital pin here in Arduino. So let me just try to uh, focus it. Yeah, so you can see here that in any of the digital pins in Arduino, you can connect the positive one and the cathode one goes to ground. Now you can either connect it to digital pins or you can connect it to the analog pins to control the brightness and all that thing. So we have already seen how the potentiometer and the and the LED brightness controlling works in previous video, but that was a ready project. What we are going to do today is we are going to quickly see that project again, and then we are going to start with understanding the PIR sensor as well. So let's get to it. Now, connect this LED from breadboard to Arduino. As we explained last time, that all the breadboards are having some kind of similar structure. So you can see here that all these breadboards in center are connected in a straight line. So if I'm connecting this LED, so you can see here that the longer pin of LED is going in this section. So we have numberings as well here. You can see that I'll show you in a minute. Just give me a second. So you can see that the longer pin here is connected to say around the row number 8. So you can see that we have numberings as well, 1, 5, 10. I'm not sure why they are, but I'm pretty sure that they are to make sure that we can understand what we have connected at which pin if we have more than one elements connected on the breadboard. But you can see that the longer one I have connected here at 10 and the shorter one is at around 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8, correct, sir. Now, as I explained in previous video, that all the breadboards are having straight lines connected in center and horizontal. That is, these are connected horizontally if we are looking in this perspective. Now, if I want to connect anything here, so you can see that the longer one that is connected, I can connect anywhere out of this. So if I have to show you that here, I can show that here. So you can see that. Let me just bring it a little bit closer. Yeah. So the this is the pin, and here in this row I can connect it anywhere. So if I'm connecting it here and I'll connect it to any of the digital pins, say let's we are connecting to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we are connecting this to the 13th digital pin. So we are connecting it to the 13th digital pin, and now the other one which is left is nothing but the ground. So let's connect it to the ground. And so that also similar to the previous one, I can grab any of the pin in the row and I can connect it to the ground, which is exactly after the 13th digital pin. Now, going back to the coding part, we don't have to code that again. So let's just bring in the power cable here and connect Arduino to the machine PC. And let me just connect it 1 second, and we'll connect it to one of the pin. Okay, so Arduino is basically connected to the pin, and now let's see if we can run it. So we'll change the board. So I'm testing a new board as well. Let's change this board to Arduino Uno and change the COM port as well. So probably it is connected to third COM port, I see, I think. And we'll grab an example that is the basics of Blink, and let's run it and see if it works. So with this code running, so you can see that it started blinking. Now, if I'm removing this connection and if I'm connecting it here, you can see that it is not going to work because these connections are not connected straight. But if I'm connecting it back here, it will work. So let's grab another LED and see if we can blink that as well. So Again, same logic. The longer one goes in the positive and the shorter one goes into the negative. So let me try to. So you can see both the LEDs are connected. Now, if we want to, you know, do this at the horizontal, that is the straight lines here, which are for power and ground. So you can do that as well. So let me just connect it here, and you can see that it is blinking. Now let's test our own breadboard whether it is connected till the edge or not. So I'll just connect it here and see if it works. So it's a little bit harder because these are not the normal LEDs, they are used somewhere else. So let me see if I can connect it. Okay, it's not. Let me grab another one. So okay, I'm not sure whether it works or not, but let's try it out. So okay, it's not working. Yeah, so you can see here that these LEDs are so only the half section is connected, but the other half is not connected. And you can also see that if I'm connecting it here, the previous one gets dimmed. So this is because of the power distribution. The most of the power is getting consumed by this LED, and we are not having sufficient power here. That's why it is happening like this. So if I'm removing it back, it can again work to the previous piece. Now enough with the LED. So we need to know is that how the breadboard is basically connected. And whenever you buy a breadboard, make sure you are aware of your breadboard specifications, because that is very important. Now moving on, let's go to the knob, and we'll get an idea on how exactly the potentiometer works. So let's get to it. We are going to use potentiometer to change the brightness of the LED, which we have already done. So I'm not going to go into the code and all. I am interested in although showing you how exactly we are going to connect the potentiometer to Arduino, and that's where the main objective lies for this video. So moving on to the pin diagram, and make sure, so this is a really good habit that whenever you are going to connect a potentiometer or any sensor or any actuator, as a matter of fact, make sure you always have the pin diagram in hand, because that is going to help you a lot to make sure that you are doing the right connections to understand how exactly the potentiometer or any sensor or anything, as a matter of fact, is working, because that is really a good habit. Now to connect the potentiometer, let me just grab in the pin diagram. So you can see here that if we are going to go according to this diagram, let me just try to zoom in. Okay, now if you'll go by the diagram on the screen here, and you can take a simultaneous look at the camera, you can see that the rightmost end is the ground, in between is the output, and then the leftmost is the VCC. Now, this is very important because if you are going to change the polarity, a lot of times either the board or the component that you're connecting might get damaged. So make sure you don't do that. Cross verify 2 3 times and then only you connect it. Now let's connect the potentiometer to breadboard, and connecting potentiometer to breadboard is quite easy. So you just let me just show you that as well. So just put it in 3 pins and push it, and that's basically it. So here you can see that potentiometer is connected to breadboard. Now you just need to make sure that you're connecting to the right pins across and connect it back to Arduino. Now we are not going to go into the code again. As I said, we are just going to make sure we connect it right, and we are connected. So this is one pin, let's grab another one, and this is one gap here. Sorry, my hand is in between. So here, and the final one is here. So now moving to the front, let's make sure that it is connected to the breadboard very well. Now connect considering the same, and also make sure that usually you go for VCC red or any other color, and for ground you make sure you are using black. It is easy to identify That's why. But again, I am kind of messed up, but it's okay, not an issue. So now, if we'll go for the Arduino, let's get into the connections. So I'll bring in Arduino by side. And now what we need to do is the rightmost, sorry, leftmost part is VCC. So let's go and get VCC here. And let me see if I can just, yeah. So you can see here we have 5 volts. So I'm going to connect there. So V in, ground, ground, and this is 5 volts. And then the rightmost will be the ground. So we're going to connect it to the ground here. And then we are going to connect this to A0 again. Yeah, we are going to connect it to A0. And yeah, that's it. That's the connection for Arduino. And this is basically is very simple one. And the reason why I wanted to explain this is because we have seen the project which we did in the first, I guess, first or the second video. And but I didn't explain you how to do the connection part. Now if simply you are going to again connect an LED to control the brightness, you just grab an LED, put it here, and then just connect it with, say, this is the longer, so get in with 8, this is the 8th pin. And then you grab another jumper cable, connect it to another pin, and let me just zoom out a little bit, and then you connect it to another ground. And this is the basic connection for the brightness control pin. And I don't think that we have to go over the code and all again, because I have already explained that part. So if you are new to this video, make sure you go and check it out, because I am interested today to only go ahead and use PIR sensor, because that is the important part of this video, and that is the major thing that I need to explain. So guys, we are moving towards the PIR sensor, and this is it. Again, I'm going to link all the links in the description, leave all the links in the description, so make sure you check it out. Also in the corner for the playlist. Don't directly jump to this video. Make sure you go from the first, because I have tried to explain most of the basics in those videos. So don't miss them. And yeah, that's it. Let's go to the PIR sensor and let's rock it. Okay, guys, so let's get to PIR sensor, which is one of the most awaited part of this video. So basically, this is the PIR sensor. So let's move these things aside. I'll just disconnect everything, because now we are not going to need anything. And we are just going to need, although, the LED. So I'm just going to keep LED as it is. And let's disconnect everything else. Okay, so we'll keep the LED as it is. And this is Arduino, and we'll move aside the jumper cables which are not going to be needed, and also the potentiometer. Okay, it's gone now. So this is a PIR sensor, guys, and it's very awesome. The way it works is really awesome. The working principle of PIR sensor. So I'll give you a quick idea on how exactly it works. So if you'll see here, let me just remove this. This is the main sensor, which is also, I think, called as photoelectric sensor or something like that. And it's, sorry, pyroelectric sensor. And it what it does is, it whenever there is a person coming in range of this infrarays, what it'll do is it will give a high output from this pin which is in center, which is so let me see if it, yeah. So this center pin will give a high output, and will tell the microcontroller that okay, someone is in range, and you take the necessary action. So that is what basically it does. And this is called Frenzel lens. I don't know what does that mean. I'm not even able to pronounce it, but yeah, that is what it is. And now if we'll take a look at the diagram here, and also simultaneously if we'll take a look at the sensor, then I'll give you an idea on what exactly are the components. So you can see here that these are the two potentiometers, smaller ones, and usually such potentiometers are on a sensor to control their threshold or some kind of functionality. So for example, in PIR sensor here, we have a sensitivity control and we have a off time control. Now this one is to change the mode of the PIR sensor, where we have two different modes, that is H and I, where H is repeatable mode and L is, or sorry, L, that is not I, it's L, where L is non-repeatable mode. So we just need to change the jumper from here to this pin. If you can see this pin here on this side, yeah, this pin. So you just need to change the jumper from this pin to this pin and it's there. And now towards the pin out, you can see that this one, so yeah, so this one is ground. So let me just, I'm not sure whether it is okay. Let me just, yeah. So the leftmost one is the ground. In between is the digital, that is the output pin from which we are going to get the data, and the last one is the VCC pin. So here we are going to connect 5 volts, which can range from around 4.5 to 12 volts. This side we are having the ground, and in between we'll be connecting it to a digital pin. So that's basically it. This is the PIR sensor, and you can create a motion detector using this. Just imagine what kind of projects you can make. And now I'll give you a quick difference about that repeatable and non-repeatable mode as well, because maybe some of the people might find that useful while creating project. So in repeatable mode, which is the by default mode right now, here uh, what it does is, it will, if it detects a person in range, then what it will do is it will wait for a while and then it will go back again to the low range. That is, it will give a high signal and then again it will go to a low signal. So it basically just detects leaves. But in the other mode, that is the non-repeatable mode, what happens is it will keep on sending you the high signal until that person is in range. So now, if you think of an application, what you can think is doors of malls. So they do have motion sensors as well. So that is H mode, where what it is doing, it is detecting, it is opening the door and is leaving off. But if you want to create a security system where you want to make sure that unless and until that man is on the location, you just keep watching that man through camera, or keep on indicating you have to move around, you have to move out of this property and all that stuff. So in such scenarios, you can use the non-repeatable mode. So that is what it is. Now what we'll do is, let's connect this PIR sensor to Arduino and let's code it. So although the code is already ready, but of course I'm going to explain you guys. So we are connecting the PIR sensors pins, and now based on the PIR pin diagram, let's connect it. I'll move aside this and I'll move this as well. We don't need that right now. So the leftmost here is ground. So let's connect it to ground. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and ground. The center one is 0, 1, 2. So we'll connect it to pin 2. And the last one is VCC. So V in ground, ground 5 volts. And I think this is right. Yep, it's right. It's right. Okay, guys. So let's go to the code now, and we'll just try to see if we can understand what exactly is the code here. So basically what I have done is, we have connected the PIR sensor to digital pin 2, and we have connected the ground and VCC port. So what we are doing is, we are just serial printing some detection and no motion detected and no motion, and then we are adding some delays. So don't worry about the code yet, because we are still going to do the LED part. There I'll be explaining you the code in detail. So let's run this and see if we can. So you can see that PIR sensor test, no motion detected, no motion. So what it is doing is, now it's in H mode. So what it is doing is, it is basically giving a high signal whenever it is detecting a motion, and then for some time it is going back to the low mode. So here, that's why even though we are available, there is a person available in front of the sensor, that is me. still for a while it is showing no motion because it is going in low mode. If I'm changing this jumper cable, and if I'm switching it to the I mode, that is repeatable mode, then it will definitely show us the continuous motion detected section. So let's try it out and see if we can do that. So I'll remove this and we'll switch the jumper cable. So if you want to switch the jumper, not cable but the jumper pin here, so what we do is we just pull out this yellow color switch, you can see this, and we'll just put it in the another section, and now this is in repeatable non-repeatable mode. So let's try it out again. I'll just clear this output and connect the pin, and let's try it out. See, so you can see now it will most probably it should show motion detected. Let's give it some motion. So you can see now I've kept hand in between. We need to change the sensitivity and threshold as well here, and that will help us out with the with the correction. So whenever you do such things, you can just make sure you are changing the sensitivity. Let's try to change the delay as well and see if we can uh, change it a little bit, change the output. Here you can see, so motion detected, no motion detected. So basically it is switching through the cycles, and if we'll see the, I'm not sure plotter will show or not, but yeah, basically this is what you do. So you can see now it is detecting the motion more continuously because we have changed the delay, and now the cycles are a little bit less. If we are changing the threshold as well here, then we'll get a little bit more output. So you can just play around with this and see how it works for you. Okay, let's connect the LED. So make sure you are connecting the pins properly so that you don't mess up the LED. And this is it. So long pin is for positive and the short one is for the negative. So let's connect it likewise. The short pin according to the code is connected to pin number 13. So I'm connecting it like that. And the long one, and the short one is connected to the ground. So let's get the connections. Okay, and that's done. And we have connected the LED and the motion detector. Now, let's keep the motion detector in front so that it should not detect the motion and right now. And let's understand the code. So take a look at the code. What we have done is we have connected the PIR sensor to pin 2, that is here in the Arduino, and then we have connected the LED to pin number 13, that is here, and then we have done a wide setup. Now those who are new, as I said, go and take a look at the previous video. There I have explained what is wide setup, wide loop, digital read and all. So we are reading the PIR sensor value through digital read, which is responsible for reading the value of the sensor, which gives us 0 or 1. And now if the PIR value is equal to high, then what we'll do is we'll turn up the LED on, and we'll do a motion detected serial print, and then wait for a second, and then we'll go ahead. And then if the next time the motion is not detected, we'll turn down the LED and we'll serial print motion not detected. So let's go ahead and burn this code and see if things are working really out or not. The code is uploaded, I think, but still you can see that it is working, but serial monitor is having some issue. Let me just try to open it. Yeah, you can see here. If I'll go again, it'll do. It'll wait for a while and then it'll close again. So we'll do it again. So again, the motion is detected and it's working. It's basically working. So this is it, guys. This is the main sensor for which I was so much excited. And go ahead and make different projects using PIR sensor. If you want to buy a PIR sensor, I'll leave the link in the description. All the things that I have shown here, all the buying links are in the description. So make sure if you want to buy, you can go ahead and use those links to buy it out. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. That helps me a lot. Thanks for all your comments that are coming in, and thanks for all the views. We have almost crossed, we are around 1300 subscribers now, so we are moving towards our milestone and next milestone, and it's really exciting for me as well. So if you like the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with all the IoT enthusiasts. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, because that is really very appreciable from my end as well. And keep innovating, guys. Take care. Thank you.